Q&A with the living principal, Mr Casham.
Might have to be a bit louder.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay, so you have questions. I have no idea what the questions are. You could ask me anything as long as it's related to learning and it's appropriate. And fire away.
Okay.
This is part of our education week. We thought we'd do something different to a silly video. Okay, our year 6 leaders, ask away.
Okay.
I might ask you questions back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go first.
Do you prefer teaching or being principal?
Good question. Wow. I prefer both. I like to do both. I have enjoyed being principal this year, but there's a big part of me that likes to be in the classroom, taking on year 6 students with attitude. But now I take on staff members with attitude instead.
Are they the same?
Staff are easier than students. Oh no, students are easier than staff. I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
Next question.
What do you like about being principal?
Being principal, I like the main thing I like is not being the timetable. It's like when you're a teacher, it's 9 o'clock. You're always looking at your clock. When you're a principal, you just deal with what happens. You're less confined to time. So I like that. I also like making big decisions. I also like getting out of year 6, so now I walk into kindy for a change. I didn't know what happened in there until I became principal. And that's interesting. Kindies are super enthusiastic, not like year 6s who need to be persuaded. You have to persuade the year 6s to do things, whereas kindy are just like, ah! You're like a celebrity when you walk into the classroom.
Wow.
But yeah, what else do I like about principal? It's different. It's like a new job this year. It's been like a new job. So yeah. I hope there's other questions, not just about being principal.
No, there's
Okay, cool.
Okay. What does Education Week mean to you?
What does Education Week mean to me? Well, the theme's learning together, and I think that is appropriate for this year because teachers have been challenged to learn new things on the computer, and parents have become teachers, and students have become at times probably feeling like they didn't have a school. We've all had to learn together to get through probably a year in a 100-year event, which we're still in the middle of. But yeah, Education Week is to celebrate schooling and being educated, 2 things. So you've got school where you be educated, but you've got education in itself. To get through all these challenges this year, you need to be educated, you need to have a broad, education gives you a broad picture on life. And if you have a broad picture on life, that helps you overcome challenges, and that's kind of the role of a school. And school is not just about education, it's about having friends and experiences, and when we lose school, we forget those other aspects of school that we have. So Education Week is just to celebrate schooling and to be educated.
cool.
Wow.
Okay, what do you think Education Week is to you? You speak now. That's enough of me speaking.
I
I'm
think
not too sure. It's about kind of looking back and reflecting on what you've done. Also, that's I don't know.
Well, this year or just?
yeah.
I
think
think
over the
this
years.
year, it's been important to reflect on this year because heaps different to any other year we've had.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's, in some ways, that's kind of sad for year 6s in particular, because I think that year 6s are missing out on a lot.
Yeah.
But it is just the way it is. But
Yeah.
hopefully in term 4 you still have your camp. Sport is beginning to happen again. But it's a different kind of year. We'll have to figure out the year 6 show. What happens there? Might be a live stream. I don't know. Or a film.
That'd be cool.
That would be okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I suppose the play would just be better. Like the atmosphere.
Maybe we have a few people in. Maybe we have canned laughter. Someone presses a button. Ha! That might work.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably won't.
Sorry.
We get everyone to laugh, record it, and then we just play it at the key moments.
Hmm.
No, you don't sound excited by that.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's better to have the audience there.
should
It's
press
nice.
stop just to check that our sound's working.
Probably.
Otherwise, we could talk for 30 minutes
Yeah.
and we have to do it all again. So let's press stop and we'll see if the sound actually worked. Okay, the sound is working, so let's continue.
Okay. So, what is it like being able to actively make change in our community?
Oh gosh, that sounds like a teacher question.
Oh, I didn't
Are you
know how
trying to
word
think
it.
like a teacher
No,
when
I
you
didn't,
said
I
that?
didn't know how to word it, so I worded
Okay,
it.
what is it like to make an
Teacher.
active change to the community?
Just like, instead of just being a teacher, you're able to like,
Oh
make
no! Teachers are just as important, if not more important, than principals. Because teachers are there at the coalface.
Actually
They're
doing it.
actually, yes. So I would say that a principal's not more important than the teachers, and yeah, so we're all making a change, and children are also a part of the process as well. It's not just about teachers, so Education Week isn't just about teachers and principals, and we've got the admin staff, we've got the cleaners. It's actually about, as I said, I think it's more about everybody together, including the parents, including grandparents, and I appreciate grandparents more than ever now that I have a daughter and she's being brought up by her grandparents too. So it's about the whole school community, which I like, but yeah, everybody's making a change, a gradual change, and you know, it's just about together being a team to try and make not just this community better, but we're trying to make obviously the world a better place without being too cheesy. But the world needs lots of great people. You only have to look at the news to see maybe a slight absence at times of great people. But yes, so I think the best thing about a school is that everybody contributes. It's not just certain groups of people. I think the whole school community, and Education Week is a celebration of everything.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
How has being principal changed your
This is
school
about being
experience?
principal again.
Well, being principal is very important.
Yeah,
True.
I thought it was going to be, yeah. Beyond, sorry, what's the question? I should have listened to the question.
How has being principal changed your school experience?
Wow. Hugely. It's like suddenly you're just looking at things with a different lens. It's like putting on a different pair of glasses. It's like when you guys get to do peer support or lessons at the end of the year. Do you know when we do lessons at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps.
Suddenly you put on the teacher perspective. It's like going from a student to the teacher, and suddenly you see, now I get it. Now I understand why that happens, or because you're looking at it from a different angle. It's like looking at the same shape, but looking at it from a different angle. So has it changed it completely because I've got a different perspective. It's a different perspective being in a different role. That's why it's important for a principal to still be a teacher, because they need to still look through the eyes of a teacher and be a student.
Yeah.
So the biggest students in the school should be the teachers and the principal. I'm still studying, so you should be. So you still have to go through that feeling of learning, because you can't teach without learning. They're the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So you guys have got to be teachers to each other. That's why in class we encourage you helping each other, peer support, marking each other's work, giving feedback. That's not just from the teacher. In fact, probably the most important feedback is between each other. So yeah, good question. No, don't talk about principal anymore. Talk about.
That was the last one back.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. I'm thinking of some good questions for you guys.
Okay. What do you miss about teaching?
Still about me. I thought you were asking some. I don't know about the year. What do I miss about teaching? The humour, the fun.
Can't you still be funny while being a principal?
It's hard when you're in an office on your own. You need other people to be funny. You're not funny unless there's laughter. So I miss the audience of the classroom, but I shouldn't say that. I should say it's helping children. But yeah, helping them be funny. No.
That's not it.
No. Do I miss what I genuinely miss? I don't miss. I'm still doing some teaching. I'm still getting some classrooms. I hope to do more this term, and maybe next term I
You
definitely
should make
will.
it actually like a weekly thing, like you teach a class
I know
every week.
I've been trying. Okay, I'll try.
Try.
I'll try. Okay. What do I miss? I genuinely miss great lessons. It's great having a great lesson. Great text or a great video or a great idea and then having a class debate. I miss class debates. They're the best, especially in year
They're
6.
pretty fun.
Yeah, okay. Just so for the audience, these two have been in my class, were in my class last year, so that's why they, they don't quite look at me like a principal, they look at me like there's that teacher, that loud teacher. Yeah, okay. And you got I picked 2 loud students to interview. So lots of things, but there's no one thing, because teaching is the most and learning is such a complicated, complex thing. It's just, the complexity, I suppose. I miss the classroom dynamic. Lots of things. Education's not straightforward. Yes. Okay. Next question. About nothing to do with me.
Oh, making nothing to do with
Oh, is
you.
it all about
Interviewing
you?
you.
Oh, it's okay. All right.
When you were teaching,
Wait, this is the last question.
All right.
And
we're
we
gonna-
did it because last year you always said you felt like you were teaching like for half the year.
Oh, because I was
Busy
part-time
job
last
share.
year.
when
Okay.
you were teaching,
Well, that's actually true.
when you were teaching, did you prefer having your own class or job sharing?
You're gonna have to delete that.
Why?
I have to cut that off. Well, because I'm gonna say I prefer my own class and then I'm insulting Mrs. Wells. Anyway, okay.
Well, this one,
So these are
Yes.
questions that you've just thought of now,
yes.
without my help.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when will
Nice and
everything,
oops, sorry.
when will everything be back to normal? Like when will we not have to be socially distant?
When will the
Will
normal
the-
ever return, and do we want the normal to
Yes, we
return?
want the normal to
Yes.
return.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like online learning at all.
You didn't like online learning?
I mean, I like being able to eat
Oh,
whenever I
gosh.
wanted, but like
I was like
that's
that all the
also-
whole time.
You need to speak louder so they can move my green tea out of the way. It's advertising.
It's not facing this.
So there's no such thing as normal, because everything keeps changing in life and the world. So you just got to be prepared for changes. But things will turn back to some sort of normality when we control the virus and there's a vaccine, and that'll happen. I'm quite confident in science, in the educated scientists of planet Earth. They'll get a vaccine. It'll happen next year, I'm sure. So middle of next year, it'll be. But I think things will turn, hopefully,
December.
in time as we get control of things. But we've just got to be prepared for future challenges, and that's why it's really important a school develops strong, resilient, robust characters that are able to cope with what planet Earth throws at them. So things will return to normal, but normal.
That's what I was
Who wants to be normal, Pippa? Come on.
I don't know.
I don't want the world to be normal.
Will it ever return to what it was? Like, or will it always be
Yeah.
different?
I think it'll always be different. We'll learn from this year, and things will change. There's nothing to be frightened. If you ever think things are going to stay the same, they won't. Things will always change. It's just that this year in particular, it's been a sudden. People are using Zoom like they probably were never going to use it until this year. But
I was
yeah,
kind of always thinking that we were never gonna stop school. That wasn't gonna happen. That home learning wasn't gonna be a thing.
you just thought it was just
I just thought that people were always talking about it, but I didn't actually think it would happen.
because it's just never happened before, so you thought
Yeah.
it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a great lesson. Never
I don't know.
just be
Expect the
prepared for the unexpected. But can you be prepared for the unexpected? I
No,
suppose you
Because
can't,
unexpected.
because it's unexpected.
Be prepared for the unexpected.
No.
The unexpected.
Expect
Yeah.
the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected
Then now
That
unexpected.
that should be expected.
Unexpected sounds weird.
So who knows? We're not in. I'm sure school won't close again, but then again, Victoria probably thought that. So we've got to be just prepared. We shouldn't laugh. It's serious, but yeah, okay.
It's so serious.
But yeah, it's a steep learning curve this year for you guys,
Yeah.
for teachers, for people who've been new principals. It's all. But yeah. Next question.
What about like school camp?
Camp.
What will that be like?
Let's
Will
hope we
it
have
be
school
social
camp.
distance? I remember you were talking about like a the
As it
last term
stands-
that we camp in on the school oval.
As it stands, school camp is still on.
Yes.
It will be reviewed as the term progresses. It all depends on the health situation. Let's hope. It's outside. Apart from when you're sleeping, you're inside. So there's reasons why it could well be safe. It's in lovely Port Hacking,
Yeah.
next to the river. So fingers crossed. If not, maybe at the end of term 4 we'll have to sleep on the oval and
Yeah.
have a camp out and sing some songs.
Some kumbaya.
Yeah,
Is year 5 going with year 6 on here?
they are. We joined them together. We don't know for how long. Maybe that will happen. It used to be year 5 and year 6 camp, and then we changed it to a year 6 leadership camp, which meant there were 2 camps, and it also meant that we could. Yeah. Anyway, we'll
Was
see
it
what happens.
easier to have 2 camps or 1 camp?
It was great for year 6 to have their own camp. I think you would agree with that.
Yep.
But it makes it more difficult in some ways because it means you're organising 2
Suppose you
camps.
can just like take them all together in one go.
Yeah. And it's nice. And in some cases, it's nice to have a bigger group. We only
In some cases.
Year 5 can
Yeah.
leave early, a day early.
day early.
Yeah.
Okay, to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Is that you're planning future camps for this school? Okay, all right.
Will year 5 go for like less days next year? Well, then that will.
You don't need to worry. You're at high school next year.
I know.
No matter what happens this year, you're not repeating this year. You're going to high school. Move on. Just come back and visit and say hello.
Okay.
What a crazy year that was, Mr Casham. Yeah, it was. So yeah. Should I ask you questions now? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a bit of a break.
Be ready for your questions.
Let's have a break and you have a breath, and then we'll. All right. In the final section of our interview, I get to interview our Year 6 leaders. So I'm going to test you out. Okay. First question. So, education. What do you think is the most important thing you have learned this year?
Oh wow. I don't know.
What's one thing
One thing.
do you think
Right.
stood out to you? Don't think it doesn't have to be related to this crazy pandemic, but what's the one thing as year 6 so far do you think you've learned that you're proud of, or you're there's a bit of wow?
Well, teamwork kind of thing. Not specifically what we've learned, but like peer support.
Yeah.
I just love
Peer support?
Peer support. I like
Wow,
peer support.
okay.
It's
Just
been
teaching.
really good. I want to do it more.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love being able to like share my personal, like my knowledge. Like
And
I'm
try
not a
to teach
teacher,
other
but like
kids.
I like.
but that goes to what we were saying before about it's important to be a teacher, to be the
Yeah.
student.
Yeah.
And, okay. So do you think? So what specific thing about peer support the teaching aspect did you like?
Teaching other kids what you've learned, like throughout the year that you've been at school. Teaching other kids what you've learned.
So you've gone through school and you've learned things and have been able to impart
Yeah.
that knowledge or that
Kind of like
understanding.
looking back on your education, and then like taking what you know and then sharing with others.
So it's a good reflective kind of. I'm at the end of my time in school, and now I get to pass on what I wish I would have known. So what year did you teach again? Year
I taught
2,
year 3s and year
3,
4.
yeah.
I had year 5.
Oh, that you had the tough gig. Okay,
It's always
yeah,
tough
year
teaching
5 is
these
the
younger
tough.
than you.
Well, it's because they don't see you as a teacher because
Yeah,
there's
they
not much
see
of an
you
age
as a-
difference. So that's different. So you must have been carefully selected because you carefully select who's going to teach in year 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, peer support. So how do you think the school then could incorporate that so it's a more regular? It's not just traditionally happens in term 2. So what do you think? It should be a weekly lesson throughout the year?
I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe like every fortnight or something, we could like rotate groups throughout
Okay.
and maybe teach like one group to one class and then
So you don't
stretch
just
it out
get
a bit more. So it's not just every week because that's hard for the teachers to like plan in.
maybe 5-week blocks. You got stage 1, 5-week block. You have
Yeah.
so you get all through school.
It'd be pretty
Alright.
cool to be able to do it as a regular thing.
Okay. Do you think everybody agrees with you on that? Or is
Hopefully.
it just a Pippa thing and a Drew
I
thing?
think everybody likes peer support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think. I hope.
Okay. We'll have to bear that in mind as we move into the new school planning cycle. Yes, great feedback. All right, next question. If you were to speak to yourself, in fact, this links to peer support and you teaching others. If you were to say to yourself at the start of your school journey, you get into kindergarten, what one thing would you do differently?
What one thing?
If you were to give yourself a bit of
Wow.
advice, I want you to do this differently through your
Like
school.
if we could go back in time and tell our
Yeah, like just have a whisper to yourself. Say, here, Drew, do this instead. You've got 7 more years in this school. Do this. Don't forget it.
I don't know if I would go back. I feel like everything I learned is like important in one way or another. Like if I take something away or add something, it'll change my whole
history.
future.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very Back to the Future kind of.
I know.
Just say.
Don't adjust the past because it will affect the future.
Just say, because everyone has like.
Everything happens because
Just
it needs
say.
For a reason, are you going to say?
Just
You
say,
nearly said that.
You don't
Really?
listen sometimes in class. That just like that would thing here. If I said always listen, always do this, always do it straight away, it probably wouldn't end up with all the things that I have now, like as much social life as I got, probably. Like
Okay.
do a soccer.
So you're just 2 content students and you're happy with how it's gone and you have no
Not
advice for your
necessarily
past.
happy.
You are
I
happy.
am happy, but like even if there was something I could go change, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. That's very, very wise. I have wise Year 6 leaders here. Next question. Okay. I'm going to try and give you an even tougher question. Let's look to the future. Let's stop looking at the past and teaching. Let's look to the future. So, where is it all headed for yourselves at this moment in time? Because you might look at this video, you know, we're going to maybe post it on YouTube, and you might look at it in 30 years' time. Not 30 years' time. Let's 20 years' time. 20 years' time. 30-year-olds, 31-year-olds looking back. What were you doing? What are you doing in 32, 31? What's your life like? Where you're working? Where you're living? And bear in mind, your future self is now looking at you right now, answering this question. So, Drew, come on, go for it. What is your future self doing when they're looking at this video in 20 years' time? Where are you? What are you doing? What kind of life?
Being famous for soccer.
Famous for soccer?
Yep.
You know about football?
Yeah, what you call it.
Oh, round ball football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Round ball.
So, playing for Manchester United? Oh, right, okay, who are you playing for?
Either Liverpool or
Oh, gosh.
Juventus.
Take a
You
sip
probably
of my
should
green
use that
tea
in
there.
Manchester.
Okay, so, alright, so that's plan A. Let's go A, B, C. A is like being the world's greatest soccer star. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to work hard for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard.
You should probably like start training now.
Yeah, you should be like running around the table right now as we have this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so plan B. What's the next one if it is? Let's have an A, B, C.
Maybe probably have a good grades in university to get a really good job.
So what you said, good university.
Yeah.
You still do be a soccer player and go to university, you know.
You can.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Okay, so university, then what?
Yeah.
What were you studying at university? What job?
Probably. I haven't really thought of that. Maybe sports.
So we're still in the sports area.
Yeah.
Okay. Sports science, sports,
I'm not sure.
not sure. So anything related to sport?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume if I ask you C, you're going to say something related to, okay, I didn't go to university, but I'm still involved in sport.
Yeah, probably.
So
Okay.
what is C?
What is C?
C. I haven't really thought of C. I only think of A.
Maybe the ball boy at the soccer game.
Yeah, famous ball boy.
Famous ball boy. Oh no, you'd be an adult, so you wouldn't be a 30-year-old ball boy. Would be a bit weird.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
30-year-old soccer player would be weird.
Coach.
maybe the coach. Yeah,
That'd be
the
pretty
coach.
cool. You could be a famous
Okay,
coach.
you could be a young
you could
coach.
Be really old.
No, you could be a 30-year-old coach.
I know, but you can get old. And still
Everyone
stay
gets old, Pippa.
I know. I mean, it's a job that.
Some get
Well,
older
sport.
quicker than others.
Well,
We
that's
all
not.
get old.
That's just your beard aging.
Okay, alright. Alright, okay, come on.
Your turn.
Oh, I don't really know. I want to be like a vet or a teacher. I know they're very like totally different
Vet or a teacher?
things.
Yeah, that is.
I just
I suppose they're supposed helping living
helping
things.
in one way or another.
helping breathing living things
Yep.
get better.
Get better in
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, vet or a teacher. Teacher of what age?
I think like year 1, tier 3 or 4 maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see you. Yeah, no, I think this is just based off peer support.
What sort of?
I think I can also see as a year
I think
5,
year 1 and
6
year 2.
teacher as well. Need a little bit of kind of take the class on. Yeah, okay, good. Vet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me cringe, the idea of being a vet.
Really? Why?
just,
Just
Well,
gross.
same with being a doctor and
Blood.
blood
Guts.
and yeah. Yeah, no.
I suppose you get used to it. I suppose like
I don't be, yeah.
some people would. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think you get used to seeing.
No, you would if you weren't terrified of the blood.
Okay. All right. B. Oh, which was your A? A vet, B teacher, or?
B teacher, I think.
Okay. You don't need to pull your nose up when you said teacher.
Teacher.
Okay. And then C.
C. I never thought about C.
You know, I won't even contemplate a C. I have never received a C. It's not going to happen. All right. Okay. But if it was, no.
I don't know.
Okay. Final question.
A swimming person.
If you could change one thing about school, now we've touched on it because you said more peer support, but I mean, I don't necessarily mean this school.
Just every
I mean
school?
just the whole idea of being in a school. What one thing, waving your magic wand, do you think schools can do better, or it would just make the better experience, or you'd learn more? School's not just about learning. It's about experience in school. What would have made you experience better, as well as learning, or both?
Oh, that's very
It's
big
quite
question.
hard.
I'm not
Big
sure.
question, just one thing. There's
I
lots.
know there's lots of things.
Okay, but one thing stands out. You go, why do they do it like that? Why do we have it like that? I don't get it.
Oh, I have no idea. I quite like
I
school
think-
how it is,
Oh,
but
you like
there's-
that?
I think the new
it's not very
timetable-
big. Oh, the new. I don't really like the new timetable. I like it. I liked the
Oh,
old.
you don't like the new timetable?
Nope.
I do.
I'm gonna do
I like eating and then playing.
okay.
At the
I'm
same
gonna
time.
do a survey about that in a few weeks, so we'll find out if it
Okay.
sticks or not.
One thing is not very big.
It's a trial,
Yes.
Pippa. It's a trial.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be. Like
No, it's a
long.
trial. It's just
Okay.
trialing it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you
I
might be
think
more
1%. It might be 99% that think differently.
I think.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be 99% that differently.
You want more school? We ended too early at 3 o'clock. Oh, I thought you said more school.
No. More sport.
More sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe like.
There's
physical
definitely a
activity
sport
breaks
theme
or something.
running with you,
Yeah.
Drew. Okay.
I like
More sport in particular.
soccer goals.
Oh, we could get a swimming
Soccer
pool.
goals, swimming pool.
Yep.
So it's facilities. So
Running
you're touching
track.
on facilities then.
Yeah.
You just think
I
facilities.
mean, it's harder to get heaps of facilities for like
Running track.
all schools in general.
Yeah, but if it would have it made it better if we'd have had a swimming pool, a running track,
Soccer goals.
astroturf pitch,
Well, no, I
Hey.
don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
bigger classrooms, brighter classrooms,
Yeah.
Well, yes, bigger and brighter.
more technology.
Yeah.
We haven't enough technology.
I agree with you. Definitely.
Half of what we don't even use, especially all the like robotics and coding stuff.
Okay, we might edit that bit out. All right, thank you very much for joining us for our Q&A. I hope it was. You should be rounding us off here.
I should.
You introduced. It was
I
your
introduced
interview.
so you could round
I
it
took
off.
over, but it was your interview.
Um,
So thank whoever's bothered to,
thanks for watching.
and hope you have
Hope you have a good rest of your day.
rest of the day or great education
What
week.
at night?
And well then,
Rest of your night.
Maybe they started watching, they're not seeing it through to the end because they
Well-
got bored.
If you stayed watching, good job.
Hopefully the sound comes out okay.
Yeah.
Thank you and
Bye.
goodbye.
Bye.